Hello, everyone.
Hello, folks. We're trying again. Please let us know if the audio issues are fixed. Everyone, could you please say a little something?
Mm-hmm. Testing. One, two, three. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hey, everyone except Kenny is showing his intermission.
I am working on that.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Da, 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 da.
It sounds fine from what I'm hearing.
One, two, three.
I'm looking at the stream right now, and it just says intermission, and there's not even a way to unmute it.
Refresh.
Testing. One, two, three. Can anyone see this? Are we alive?
So right now I'm seeing Kenny, Lex, and Jeff. Uh, their y'all's camera are up and running.
I'm fixing yours right now.
Yeah, that's what I
Testing,
figured.
testing, 1, 2, 3.
And there
go.
I am.
Sorry.
Sweet. Let's see here.
A known but irritating glitch occurred while I was trying to fix everything else. Sorry. Alright, well, I can hear everybody. There isn't any other thing. Is anybody here? Can anyone hear us? Is this working?
It sounded fine to me in chat. Is Rose still here?
Alright.
I'm seeing.
Chris says we're
Thank
good.
you very much, Chris.
Hi, everybody. So this has been a disaster. Don't worry, it's not happening again next week. We will have entirely different problems next time.
All right. I'm very sorry for all the technical issues, folks, but it sounds like we're good. So here we go. Thank you very, very much for letting us know that it sounded good to you, Chris. It sounded fine to me when I listened in, but I was concerned that I was hearing myself over the mic and not over Twitch. Now that's been confirmed otherwise. Let's hop on it. Ooh. So today is Sunday, November 5th, 2023. You guys have had 3 days of downtime. Uh, who wants to go first and tell us what's been going on during that downtime?
Well, all right. So, day one, Nathan decided that he was going to run an experiment. We are looking at how to make cast-offs. And so Nathan took a table and and destroyed it. He broke it. It created a cast-off. And then Nathan repaired it. The cast-off immediately scurried its way down to the underworld. Nathan repaired it and broke it again, and it created another cast-off. So the cast-off, when he first broke it, did not disappear. But the second cast-off definitely showed the damage from the first break. So we did have that experiment. That was a success. Fantastic. Day two, Nathan did not decide. Nathan had a competition for NFL National Forensics League. His debate team basically, and he got some fun experience from that. That was it. There's nothing more to say about it because it's boring. Um, and the last day, he decided to go chat with the people at the bar about his grandpa. He basically wanted to find out what specific crime he got nailed for. And rumors were spreading among the patrons at the other side is that Honest Monty hasn't just been cheating folks out of their precious cast-offs, but that he'd been leaving Purgatory Junction to do business in the deeper underworld. Apparently, the ghost there believes that this is the issue that got Honest Monty on Lord Giltskull's bad side. So that'll be fun.
Alrighty, who's next?
All right. So the so for me, the first day, I took another closer look at the first tableau that we came across. The was it the Dance Macabre?
Yeah, the
In
Danse Macabre. That's how you pronounce it in French.
okay. So let's see here. Where is it? It's gonna yeah. Basically, um, the the chain. Let's see here. My apologies. Just, sorry. So basically, we just gotta uh, got more details on that, and with the sorry, my brain's glitching. Um, okay, it's got more details on that. Day two, um, tested a ghost laptop uh, and ghost router and ghost modem down in the underworld to see if there was any kind of dead internet, um, or see what would happen really. And I was able to connect uh, to Ask Jeeves, although this version of it, uh, it appears that the butler mascot from that is ghoulish, kind of more dead looking. And then the last day, um, uh, Ty and I uh, went around my house, and I gave him a tour while he investigated more of what's going on with uh, like the cult and stuff like that.
All right. I believe that leaves it to me.
Yep.
All right. So, first day, um, I decided to go burn some new stuff for my allies. Myrtle oversaw as I performed the ritual called some express checkout, which converts gear I destroy via fire into very nice cast-offs. I was given by Nathan a taser, a Indiana Jones prop whip, and a protective cup from their only time in sports. Apparently, the only piece of armor that they had. And Ethan, not understanding the assignment, gave me a router, a modem, and a laptop. If you're interested in their specific stats, they're available in the Discord. Um, but they're adding some new utility, and the laptop is basically going to let Ethan hack the planet, which is what I will be referring to that object for the rest of the game. Um, Two, get signed up with the assistant coach gig and see about getting on the Wise hockey team. Paperwork is paperwork. I did the paperwork. Everything seemed to go smoothly. Coach Kirk was happy to have me get on as an assistant coach, and the YMCA kind of like, yeah, show up whenever. And lastly, I investigated around Ethan's house for him, and I found them. Whatchamacallit? I found that a lot of a very weird little symbol, a circle with a dot in it, were just about everywhere. Very odd.
All right. And I believe that gets us to the end of everyone's downtime. And just a quick little bit of city news that was brought up in the downtime during downtime actions. Uh, the Farmer Kimball's has successfully completed its buyout of the local S-Mart chain that the crew had found out was holding interviews. The mass interviews are now over, and the new first of the new line of Kimball's big box stores will be opening on November 10th. Alrighty. So, let's go ahead and get started. As stated previously, it's November 5th, 2023, on a Sunday. Gus had told you that his sister wanted to talk last time that you were together. Now is a good time to do that if you wish. Otherwise, where are you at?
Well, I'm hanging out with the others. I stayed after a little bit to introduce myself to the, well, saying kids is a little weird, but, the junior varsity team and, acquaint them with myself, and then we're heading out.
All right, so is everyone on board with that?
Yeah, it works for me.
Sister.
What was that, Nathan? Couldn't hear you.
I'm also down with talking to Gus's sister.
All right. So, you guys arrive at the Scream Shack. As always, the building is fairly empty. With it being an afternoon, there are a few cars in the parking lot, with a few of Whispering Peaks' horror and goth community constantly browsing for new movies to watch. As you guys enter, you note Lucy sitting behind the counter, doing some menial chores, while Gus is hovering about 3 feet off the ground behind her, laying on his back in midair, and chatting with her. He notes as the three of you come in and gives a little wave, with his hand passing through his own ghostly horns. He nudges Lucy, who sits up and looks directly at you guys. She gives you a bit of a glare and says, "Thanks for showing up. I'm sure Gus gave you the message, but hey, it's only been what? 5 days? You guys are busy. The store can take care of itself for 10 minutes. She heads into the back, waving her head for you to follow. Gus shrugs and laughs. I've got no idea what's eating her. She said she wanted to talk with you, but I don't know what about. Sorry, guys.
Nathan follows in quickly because an angry person is not something he wants to deal with by being at the edge of the blast radius.
Apparently, our lack of haste has been a problem, so Ty shows some haste. He moves.
Yep.
The back office of the Scream Shack is pretty much the way that you remember it. The boss's desk appears to have been completely untouched since the last time you were here. Lucy's desk, however, is a good bit more clean. She's got the folding chairs already set out for you, and she's behind her desk fussing around with a small leather folder. She puts it down when she notes you guys. A quick glance at the folder shows a logo for the Cotton Winter Resort. So glad you guys could finally make it. Sit on down. I know that you've been busy lately, especially with the cops.
Sorry.
How did that happen?
Um, we were investigating the death of one of our Geists, and we ran into some difficulties with the cotton security folk who were tapping the internet lines at our school. And they decided to escalate by calling the cops.
It also had a metal detector that would flash blue when ghosts went near it.
And other things that we're not sure of.
Lucy shows absolutely no surprise at any of this and just sighs. That's more or less what Lily told me, she says. Uh, do you know how much I had to beg her to call Cotton Security off you guys?
Who?
And it's not going to work again.
What did we do?
Who's Lily?
Uh, a, a moment of realization washes over Lucy's face. She bites her lower lip before Gus, floating leisurely through the wall, says, "She's talking about Delilah Cotton."
Wait, you know the head of Cotton? Holy crap! As in, like, the person who basically owns this town.
That's that's not your business, she says, putting her head in her hands.
No, I think it kind of is, honestly.
Because apparently, us getting chased down by thugs who are hunting ghosts is your business. So I want to know what's going on. I know you don't want to talk to us about the specifics, but, like, if we're going to get a dressing down, can I at least know why we're being addressed about it?
She crosses her arms and hunches down in her chair. You've got my brother mixed up in your little mystery solving game. So, yeah, it is my business. He might be a ghost, but Cotton Security could still get their hands on him. And I would die before I let that happen.
I. What? What? What?
Hands on ghosts.
They can. Oh my god.
Okay, we're gonna need some more information here, because if
Gus laughs again. You're giving away the game too much, Lucy. Calm down.
let's take a step back and let's just
Um.
how much do they know? Just
Cotton
you don't you
Security is
don't you don't need to give like specifics, but just like everything, a lot, a little, some.
Like, do they know what's in those books over there?
she sighs deeply. They know a good bit, but they don't know enough, and a lot of what they know is wrong. Lily's worked to make sure a lot of what they know is wrong, but they are champing at the bit to do their real job.
So,
Which is their real job, killing us.
She gives the stink eye to Gus, who smiles real wide. You can't keep the truth from them forever, Lucy. They're gonna find out.
Lucerne, I understand that we are children. Very, very obviously, we are children to you. and that is absolutely fair. But I don't think there are ghost cops anywhere else in the continental United States. Are these the only ones?
Nope, she says.
Okay then.
If you want to get more information from her, you're going to need to do some social roles.
Somebody else swing at this. I'm not good at that.
I can.
In fact, I'm going to step back entirely. Ty is out of his depth.
All right. So what about composure plus persuasion with my specialty in de-escalation?
Composure is a defensive stat, so I'm thinking presence or manipulation.
I can do presence. I was just thinking defensive because, well, she's the one who knows what wants to kill us.
I mean, on the one hand, that's a point, but it's more for uh, use against someone attempting to make a social roll against you.
Okay. All right. So my pool is 7. I'm gonna roll.
Said presence plus what?
Presence plus persuasion with
Okay.
my specialty in de-escalation.
Okay.
Yeah, remember the de-escalation is a good one to remember. So give me just a moment to take a look at Lucy's stats here. All right, here we go. Hey, thanks, guys. Really appreciate the positivity. Lucerne bites her lip. It's clear that she doesn't want to go into depth. Let's just say that I've had to deal with cotton security before Lily started dealing with the before Lily was in charge. They're not a joke, uh, but they've been fed some very bad info about the supernatural.
How many of them are there?
I mean, cotton cotton security is pretty widespread.
They're the biggest worry for you guys in this town, but if you were outside of it, there's a lot more in the way of hunters out there. Folks who hunt supernatural creatures, like ghosts, like fairies, like vampires.
You know, um, can I just ask a straightforward question? Lucerne, um, I know about the serial killer, what killed us. I know about these cotton guys, and I know about the Reapers, which we've got a shiny new one kicking around. I just want to know, is there anybody else who we don't know about that wants us dead that you know about?
She shrugs. I don't know. I had no idea that you were even on Cotton Security's radar until Lila told me that she'd gotten a report from Sergeant Killian that he'd gotten you arrested.
So does Lily, this woman, does she care if we kill them?
I do.
Why?
I don't want to murder people. That's the opposite of what we got into this for, guys. Like, not unless they start killing people. I don't think they've been. Have they been killing people?
Lucerne looks a little shocked at the idea of killing Cotton Security. First off, I think you guys are the first uh, proven supernatural phenomenon they've seen since they set up shop here.
Great.
Oh,
Do I get a party hat or perhaps some sort of like? Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm having a rough day today.
Second off, I know that you feel like your ghost powers makes you kind of invincible, but she closes her eyes, leans back, and wipes a hand across her forehead. But they've got the kind of weapons that can take out some pretty strong things. They came here loaded for werewolves, at least.
I. You're not werewolves, right?
Gus laughs. Nope. Met a couple, but
So they're real.
nope.
Okay. Um.
Are you vampires?
Okay. Wait. Just a second. I want to check something. Do you know Dan Draven? Is he a vampire?
I have no idea who that is, she says.
Okay, we'll let you know if we are right about that. Are vampires real? Do you know about that?
Oh, absolutely. We had a few of them back in Vegas.
Okay, I think we have one here. We're gonna go check that out today. Sorry, I lots going on. I'm so sorry.
There weren't a lot of them, so they kept their nose clean, uh, unless one of our guys got in touch. But that was about it.
So are you fairies?
Give me another social role of some kind.
Sure. And as he does so, Nathan goes, because fairies were the first thing that you listed besides ghosts, which makes me think that logically that is what you would be connected to in some fashion due to the fact that it was the first thing on your mind. Let's go with presence plus expression debate.
Expression makes sense, unless you wanted to go with something like intimidation or empathy.
I have no empathy, and I don't want to intimidate her, so we're gonna go with expression.
can I
All right.
can I go with empathy to read her while she's replying to this and
Make a roll.
okay, come on.
Dang, way to go, Nathan.
So I'm thinking composure plus empathy because she's probably trying to hide whatever the truth is.
Yeah, that sounds good. Gus is uncharacteristically laughing as he hovers in the air over the desk. He's usually the much more serious one of the pair. Uh, but he seems to find quite a bit of amusement in Lucy's suffering at the moment. Lucy, meanwhile, has lain face down on the desk. He says, I knew when I came here that this job was going to be more trouble than it was worth. Hey, they said. Hey, they said. Jack says the Royals want you to go with Delilah Cotton up north. She needs a vacation for a few years, and she also needs someone to follow her in case any true Fae take an interest. And then the boss said, Hey, I have things I need to do up north too, so I can provide you a cover with the mortals. She punches the desk slightly. Uh, Ethan notices she pulls the punch back at the very last second, as if very aware that the desk would damage her hand more than she would damage it. There were some ghosts here, but there's ghosts everywhere. She rolls her eyes. But there's a lot of ghosts here. I didn't count on any of this. I didn't count on any of you. No, we're not fairies, but we're close. Ethan notes that she seems to have given up. By the way, uh, she had 3 doors, and that social combat roll had 3 successes. So congratulations on doing it in one go. She sits back at her desk, leaning back as far as she can. What you're seeing now is a mask that's part of the deal. When you get kidnapped by fairies, part of their fairy nature rubs off. You can see Gus just fine, right? He's got horns. He's got hooves. Some of the supernaturally sensitive people in town have seen him and have taken to calling him the Goat Man. I'm glad they can't see through my mask, because a goat is goddamn cuddly compared to a fucking anglerfish.
Sorry, are you meaning to tell me that you're a fairy anglerfish?
I'm not going to tell you about what happened during my captivity, but yes, my old master saw fit to change me into an anglerfish to patrol his moat.
That that really sucks, but also that sounds like you look fucking sweet under that. So, um, sorry.
Gus and I lived in New York until I was 16 and he was 25. We got kidnapped by walking into the wrong alley at the wrong time. Next thing I know, we're being dragged through thorn bushes. I would have sworn it was 50 years before we got a chance to escape, but on the outside, it was only about 5. I made it. She points at Gus. He didn't. But I wasn't going to leave him behind in the thorns.
Glad you got out.
Hopefully, you will never have to see anything related to any sort of fairy things at all ever. But Delilah is of interest, we believe, because her grandfather is one of us who took out a very powerful true Fey Lord. That's the sort of thing that draws attention to your bloodline for basically forever.
Grandpa sounds pretty cool.
So she couldn't leave Las Vegas without someone to watch and make sure that she doesn't walk through the wrong door and end up in another world. I visit the winter resort 3 times a week. We have off duty. We have some basic chats. I check the area for any goblins that might be intruding, and then I come back and wait for the boss because he's hasn't shown up in months. So there is your curiosity sated
Yes.
about me.
So you're a fairy anglerfish.
No,
Gus
Nope.
is.
not not fairy adjacent. I saw
Close
the
enough.
I saw the twitch when you referred to her as that. So
Okay. You're the fairy adjacent anglerfish. Gus is your brother and a ghost. Delilah Cotton is here and she's addicted to Tinkerbell dust. And there are goblins.
You're probably not going to note them. She waves her hand. The only one I've seen of any significance was a leprechaun wandering around, and he wasn't here for anything malicious. He was just stealing the booze out of the cupboards.
All right then. Then I guess in the most non-fairy related part of this conversation, is there any way we could meet up with Miss Cotton to apologize for the problem we've caused?
I told her that that would be a bad idea, but now you're asking too. She puts her head in her hands. I just didn't want you to end up captured by a bunch of trigger happy hunters who've got supernatural blue balls.
Okay.
And we greatly appreciate that.
If that's the case, then we will stay away until, and as such, you feel that is not the correct way of going forward. You know this better than we do. We have learned more in this conversation than I have in several weeks, and that's saying something.
Now, if you want to meet with Lily, that makes perfect sense. She sighed. Before I knew that you'd had a run in with Cotton Security, I didn't want you to have to go through one of their detectors. Like I said, they've been here for 2 years now, and the most they've seen is a passing ghost that the average one of them doesn't have the equipment on them to do anything more than detect. She sits back and takes a deep breath. Cotton Security was formed by the previous head of Cotton International to serve as personal hunters. They're made up entirely of some very skilled individuals who have been fed a mix of truth and lies. I've ran into Killian before on the wrong side of the battlefield. I know that he was a Navy SEAL for a few years before he got picked up by the U.S. Army's Supernatural Division Task Force Valkyrie and did another few years there. I don't think he knows what a sin eater is or the difference between a Geist and a normal ghost, but he's not someone that you want to have a fight with, even if you can come back from the dead.
I don't want to fight anybody except one dude. Oh, two dudes now. Do they count if they're already dead?
Did you kill someone? She asks.
No,
No.
no. He was dead when we got there. He's a reaper. six-gun saint, got a weird mask on, thinks we belong in the underneath. Wait, you were
I
there for
think,
that.
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, him. That we didn't kill him. That's not our fault.
Okay, that's fine. She sits back and sighs. It's like, look, I just didn't want you kids to get messed up in some of the more dangerous stuff here. But you've
My
already gone and done it, and
where
you don't need my protection, apparently.
That
so okay. Cards on the table. Okay. You you are you are our best ally. The reason we haven't been why we didn't come around sooner is when we broke into the gym, that's why we got picked up by, Cotton security and police. We were investigating the how the prom queen here was killed. And when we did that, we found out that my parents are members of a cult that did a sacrificial ritual.
She raises an eyebrow and whistles. Yeah, I guess you guys don't need my protection.
we've had a rough time.
Yeah.
So I guess Lucy, sorry, Lucerne, ma'am, thank you for having our back. And I know you can't tell us about a lot of things, but thank you for bringing us under and telling us about this. Because the more we know, the more we can get through. But at the end of the day, we can't just sit on our hands and whistle because, well, there's one thing I absolutely know is that there's one person other than you who knows that we're dead.
Yeah, she says, rubbing her forehead. Of course, you're after that guy. The news. Have you seen the news recently? They've been calling him the exhibition killer because of the way he arranges the corpses.
Um,
Yeah.
we are cards on table, aren't we?
Yeah.
Uh, Nathan, why don't you tell them about what we saw underneath from the killings?
Uh, the killings managed to drop a large set piece, if we were to speak in Ethan's video game terms. Basically, it looks like a pre-generated structure full of slapdash and haphazard construction that has all of our classmates, well, most of our classmates, dancing around a large pole. There was another that dropped from the killing of, I don't remember his name, but the guy with the really cool cat.
Dibbler.
Sure, that guy. And he seems to be leaving these tableaus all about. One of them had all of the names of
Da Vinci?
Da Vinci's assistants in tiny, minuscule lettering.
That's what we know right now.
They,
Hmm. Wait a second. So you're telling me that the killings seem to be generating some sort of art piece in the underworld.
Yep.
And you're telling me that they've got the names of Da Vinci's apprentices around the side of the circle?
Yes.
I swear the boss was talking about something like this last year. She gets up and starts paging through multiple of the journals. Which one is it in here? Which one? Which one? Eventually, she picks up one of his older journals, it looks like. Okay. The boss mentioned to me a while back that he had encountered something like that in the underworld in France. Here it is. I don't know if you kids know much about this sort of thing, but I know that true crime stuff is popular these days. Have you heard of the Da Vinci killings in the 70s?
Give give me give me an afternoon, I'll be fully up to speed on it.
I think I think Lenore said those words in that order once.
Out of character, just out of character for a moment. Uh, Nathan would absolutely remember because you found this information about this in a web search once during one of your downtime actions.
Oh, excellent.
We
Uh,
totally remember that in character as well.
That's why I'm telling you that you would remember, yes.
Nathan raises his hand and says, "Yes, I've heard of them."
She pages through the books and says, from what the boss told me and what I found myself, the Da Vinci murders happened in France during 1975 up through 1976. 7 murders inspired by 7 famous works by Da Vinci. The
So
boss said that after the second one, she points at at the journal. He went down in the underworld to see if anything had happened because of it, and he came across specialized tableau forged from the victims' souls. He mentioned specifically that there was a wooden platform composed of ectoplasm with a ring around the edge with the names of Da Vinci's apprentices. He also mentioned a chain, completely clean, made of shining silver, at least what it looked like. Uh, did you mention a chain was involved when you looked at these two?
a big rusty one.
Yes.
It was rusty.
Can
She,
I draw the draw this out for her?
yeah,
So uh Dex plus expression.
right. So what are you drawing out?
I'm trying to do a detailed recreation of,
Death of the Miser is probably the better one to go with.
yeah, let's go with Death of the Miser.
All right, make the roll.
Does 2 successes.
So that's a success. So she looks over your drawing and looks back into the journal. Okay. So I'm seeing some key differences. Number one, you drew some sort of blade or hook going into the ground.
Yeah.
The ones the boss encountered in the 70s did not have any of those. And you also mentioned that the chain was rusty. The items that you're seeing appear, from what I'm gathering from what you said in the boss's journal, to be ritualistically created from ectoplasm extracted during a ceremony from a dying victim's soul, which means they're not physical things that can get rusty. If they're rusty, it's because the creator wanted that to be rusty. Was the rust covering anything?
When we removed the rust, wasn't there something? There was something in French, I think.
Ethan has eidetic memory, so he doesn't need to roll to remember. There was text in French inscribed on the chains, and that was mostly covered by the rust.
Yeah, I don't I out of character do not remember directly.
Well, that's why I'm remembering for you as your character's memory.
He
Thank you.
remembers it, so you don't have to.
You play a smart character. That means that your character gets to be smart even if you aren't as smart as your character.
Yep, this is why they don't make me lift weights on camera to be as strong as Ty. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyway, you were saying?
I gave you what you saw.
We just have a text in French. We could probably write it out on a piece of paper for them.
Yeah, I do so.
All right. While I'm not going to make you roll to remember anything because you have eidetic memory. You are transcribing a language you do not speak. So I want you to roll intelligence plus academics for that, please.
Okay. Da, 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 here. Here. 3 successes.
All right. You transcribed it accurately. She looks over the notes, and Lucy shakes her head. I don't speak French, but the boss does.
Stupid question.
If only he were here.
Genuinely stupid question here. Do you have any idea what happened to the boss?
The boss came up here on his own excursion. He figured that he would be here for a while. He assumed probably several years, which is why he set up the Scream Shack. He was a wandering merchant for several hundred years. And when I found and when he found out that I needed to come here too, he offered me this job as both a way to support myself and a cover. What are you guys saying?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
In character, surprise to the words "been alive for several hundred years." However, we're not interrupting the line of dialogue.
Whenever he gets on to a new lead, he wanders off for months at a time. I have no idea where he is. He hasn't. What?
Do you remember where he went, or like even a direction? Did he just disappear one morning?
He grabbed his camping tools from in back and said, "Don't look for me before the new year." That was 4 or 5 months ago. I don't know where he went, but I don't really know what he's doing either. All he's told me is that he's looking for somebody.
Um, what are the oracle questions that you have again, Nathan? I don't remember. I don't remember what oracle questions you have.
How many dots in the
Someone
oracle do
took
you
my.
have?
You're gonna need to pull them up because someone took my book. I have 1 dot in Oracle.
All right, so your current questions are: what here is most touched by death? What here most feels the underworld's pull? Who here will help me get what we desire? What here is most treasured by someone? And what here has gone unseen? I don't know if any of those would help right now. Sorry, I was hoping we could find a lead. Actually, walk over to his desk and maybe that last one could probably get us something. He seems like the sort who would leave something emergency in his desk.
Yeah, that works. I will
Sorry, I'm not
wander.
telling you what to do. Uh,
Shut up. I wander over to his desk and sit in the chair. And I think I spend plasm.
All right. So you are going to consult the oracle.
Yeah.
All righty. So this is the first time we've used this haunt in play. So here's how it works. Uh, it costs between 1 and 4 plasm. Uh, that's the number of charges that you can give the oracle condition when you start it. Uh, it comes into play with a number of charges equal to plasm spent on consulting the oracle. And then you roll oracle plus synergy. On success, you gain the oracle condition with a number of charges equal to plasm spent. As always, you can unlock your haunt with a key to add more dice to your roll.
you probably don't need to do that if I remember how much synergy you have.
All right. So I'm gonna spend. I think we just need 1 plasm, right?
Yeah, none of these other questions will be really useful right now.
Yeah. All right. So I spend 1 plasm, and I'm gonna roll my synergy plus Oracle, which is 5, and I get 3 successes.
Alrighty. You get 3 successes and you spent how many plasm?
1.
Just the one. Okay. Would you like to describe to us what happens? What does it look like when Nathan Cartwright uses the consult the oracle haunt?
And I need to clarify something. We are going to have to ask the questions of you because you will be the one doing the answering. As
I
apparently
will
how
be
this
the
works.
one doing the answer.
Apparently. Through you, apparently. Much like I'm the one vomiting forth the memoria, you become a thing capable of answering the questions.
When you consult the oracle, you go into a death trance to seek answers through the underworld.
Oh, okay. Well, Nathan is a very boring person. He doesn't believe in a lot of this, even though he is literally being mech piloted by a ghost. And the only thing he could think of when he was trying to figure out how to do this was last time they saw Lenore, they helped her pick a bunch of things up off the ground. And the only thing that he didn't manage to put back in her stack was a tarot card that says death on it. So now he just focuses on it and holds it in his hand and, like, I don't know, wills it to rise or something. Um which it does not do. So he's just sitting here staring at this tarot card until he gets like zen and shit.
All right. Nathan stares at the tarot card, waiting for something to happen. The prom queen materializes and puts her hand on Nathan's shoulder. It's about to start, she whispers. Are you ready?
Think I have to be. Yep, let's do it.
Your eyes cross, and Nathan slumps back in the chair. Nathan, you find yourself in a deep cavern of the underworld. You can still distinctly hear the noises going around your body at the in the back room of the Scream Shack. The walls around you of the cavern are pulsing, breathing in and out like a being, like some sort of living being. The stone that you stand on ripples like water. The underworld awaits your question. So, who would like to ask the questions and the list of questions that are available to you?
Okay. Where did you find the list of questions?
308.
Yep,
Down at
the
bottom.
Oracle condition.
308.
The
Okay.
questions available to you, of which you may only ask one because only one plasm was spent. What here is most touched by death? What here most feels the underworld's pull? Who here will help me get what we desire? What here is most treasured by someone? And what here is gone unseen?
I think that last one is the only valuable one we've got.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask? I've been doing a lot.
So I go over to Nathan or yeah, to Nathan and the prom queen. What have we missed? What haven't we what hasn't what hasn't been seen here?
What here remains unseen?
Yeah.
All right. Nathan, in the cavern of the underworld that you find yourself in, you hear the question resounding across the walls deep into your chest. What here remains unseen? The stone walls of the underworld ripple in response to the words. And begin to pull aside. Jutting from the side of the cavern that you're standing in, uh, you see uh, the desk that you sit at with the lower left drawer unlocked and open. Sitting in it is a bundle of cloth. You will feel almost beckoned forward towards the bundle.
Reach out for it.
You're still a person with agency. What will you do?
I don't think he heard you.
Uh, I reach out for it.
All right. Nathan reaches out and takes the bundle of cloth. He can feel that it's wrapped around something rigid and sturdy with a hilt.
I unwrap it, taking care not to touch anything other than the fabric for now.
You unwrap the bundle and find in your hands a small dagger. Uh, it looks very old, but very well kept. The handle is ivory, and the blade is steel. There's something inscribed on the side that you can't make out too well in the light of the underworld. As you uh, as you begin to peer at it closer, you feel the power of the haunt ending and are immediately find yourself back in your body.
Hi.
I look at the lower left-hand drawer. Is it locked?
As you saw in the underworld, yes, it does have a lock. While the copy in the underworld was unlocked, this one is not.
Hey, Ethan, you like to get into places you're not supposed to be in. Are you able to pick a lock?
Let's talk to the people here first, because it's entirely possible they have a key. What did you see?
There's a dagger. It has an ivory handle and a steel blade, and something is inscribed on the handle, but I couldn't read it. There wasn't enough light. It's wrapped in a cloth in the lower left-hand drawer.
I try the drawer.
The drawer is still locked.
Oh, right.
Does Lucerne recognize anything we're talking about or show any form of interest in this?
She shakes her head and says that she doesn't remember seeing a dagger like that. Do you want to ask her for the key?
I don't suppose you've got the keys to this desk, do you?
Lucerne puts a hand on her chin and then says, "Let me take a look." She rummages through the drawers of her desk and pulls out a key ring. She looks it over. Key, key, key. Not finding it, she tosses it back into the drawer and says, "Oh, fuck it. What are you up to, Screamer?" She walks over to the desk, touches the lock with her finger, and you see a spark fly off the metal. And here the tumblers undo themselves as she opens the drawer. Nathan, just as you saw in your vision, there is a bundle of cloth, yellowed linen, around a very well kept dagger.
So, in the light of this room, are we able to see what's written on it?
Yes. Inscribed on the ivory handle Here's to your first successful voyage as first mate. Here is to many more. Captain Haley Goldsmith.
Captain Haley Goldsmith. Do you, if he's brought something that sounds very precious to him, maybe it's connected to this person?
Uh, Lucerne shrugs. The boss keeps himself to himself. The only other person he was willing to talk with openly about this uh, definitely isn't in Colorado.
All right then. I don't think we've got any other leads we can work with, but this is something. Maybe we can poke around with that name.
She shrugs and says, "It's worth a shot. All I really know is that the boss came here looking for somebody, and he goes missing for months at a time. I've never seen that dagger. I've never heard that name, but he kept it locked up. So it might be connected.
Can
I'm
I ask
sorry, I
a
can't help more."
Can I ask a very stupid question?
Sure.
Is it magic?
She looks at it. No, this dagger's just really, really old.
I'm sorry, I don't know, and I am guessing for the same reason you can't see the ghostly. You know, most of your kind, I think you said, can't see the ghostly bits. Uh, we can't see goblins. So, yeah. I just, if there was something else, I don't know. I think
It's
you.
worth asking, she shrugs.
Anyways, I'm gonna poke around with that name in the underworld, I guess.
Or the internet. It's old, but God knows you can find just about anything there.
All right. I will be looking into that on the internet. Thank you for all of your help, and I'm really sorry that we put you out with Miss Delilah Cotton.
It's not that you put me out, she sighed. I was trying to protect you. Lily wants nothing more than to meet you because she's bored out of her head. And when I told her that I happen to know 3 young kids with ghost powers who got their asses locked up because they crossed Sergeant Killian, she was practically begging for an introduction.
Well,
I
And
mean, we're okay to meet her.
I just didn't realize how deeply in you'd got, and I thought maybe it would be a bad idea for you to go to the winter resort. But at this point, hey, you've already been through their scanners, you've already pinged on their radar, and at least one of their guys knows your name specifically. So she shrugs. I don't think there's anything left to be afraid of, because it's already happened.
oh, one last thing. I don't know if this will matter to you. We took a look at Sergeant Killian's work when he was pinging random kids. A bunch of them were haunted for one reason or another, but there were some who we couldn't tell what was going on with them at all, even though they pinged. Uh, Here's their names. Do with it as you will. You've got a lot more capacity than I do.
She nods and says, I'll do what I can. Uh, I mean, hey, she gives you a tired smile. Gus has believed in you and he's been helping, so I want to help too. I believe in you, kids.
Well, if there's anything that I can tell you, there's nothing more than we want for every single one of us to get the fuck out of Whispering Peaks.
Well, Gus says that you have a little ceremony for induction into your club. So pencil me in and I'll get working on this.
Yeah, you can come over for supper tomorrow.
All right. Well, sorry for the production, kids, but it's been a good 15 minutes and I've got to get out there before some of these assholes steal every VHS we've got.
Let's go. All right. We bolt. I believe that somebody's due home to see his parents,
Yeah.
and I'm off to the club. Me and Nathan, I think we wanted to see Dan Draven today.
Yep.
Alrighty. So we're splitting the party.
Uh,
Don't
I'm gonna
you
die
know
again.
you dare split the party?
I'm gonna die again.
All right. So, Ethan, after the three of you leave the Scream Shack, uh, the others break off, leaving you alone to go back home and meet your parents, who should have
Yeah.
debarked from their personal plane and gotten here from the Aspen airport. Well, wouldn't it be the Denver airport by now?
Yeah, their helicopter's probably landing in the backyard soon. I don't know. Whether or not that's true, that's how Ethan thinks of it.
All right. So, do you wish to go straight home or make any pit stops?
Um, so w before I head home, um, actually, yeah, let's go ahead and just head home. And I have no idea what to expect, so I can't plan for anything. So,
All right. So, Ethan, you make your way back to your house. You buzz yourself into the estate. Uh, no one answers when you try to speak with Algernon, but this doesn't particularly surprise you. Uh, you head into the mansion, and you can practically feel the excitement and the activity. You can hear the old butler bustling about. And you can also hear some conversations going on in the dining room.
okay. I take a deep breath and I head to the dining room.
So, Lizzie, I had this wonderful filet at this little restaurant in France. I would love to take you. Oh, Roger, that sounds heavenly. Uh, I was kind of slumming it in Germany. Uh, Three-star restaurants at best. None place I'd really want to take my darling husband. You walk into the uh, dining room, interrupting the conversation. You see your parents sitting at the head of the table on one end. Uh, Roger Barlow is 53 years old. Uh, he's not a particularly tall man, about 5'10". Rail thin. Doesn't look like he's ever had an ounce of fat on his body. His hair is salt and pepper gray and combed and slicked back with pomade. Uh, he keeps a very well trimmed goatee with no mustache that is likewise salt and pepper, black and gray. Um, he has a pair of tiny glasses clipped onto his nose, the kind that you would see in like an old school TV show or play. They'd call them pince-nez glasses. Uh, and he's wearing a silk evening gown over top a very expensive cashmere sweater and matching sweatpants. Your mother, Elizabeth Barlow, she's 52 years old, several inches shorter than your dad. Her hair is still a vibrant platinum blonde, perhaps a bit too vibrant. You've been suspecting for a long time that she's dyed it, but it's hard to tell considering the caliber of dye that your mother can afford. She is likewise wrapped in a silk kimono, one imported directly from Japan. They are eating uh, from a multitude of tiny plates that Algernon keeps bringing out of the kitchen, with small, fiddly little dishes that the chef takes an incredible amount of time to create. You know that your parents absolutely love the finest things in life and wouldn't eat anything that costs less than $1,000 a plate. Algernon, smiling as wide as he can, takes multiple shuddering steps in, one hand holding a silver tray full of more expensive nibbles, and the other on his cane. Young master, your parents are home, he says. You also note that the ghost that sits at the dining room table is still in the same spot, same place as ever, at the other end of the table. He gives you that familiar look that you've seen dozens of times now and goes, "Gah," rolling his eyes.
And I just kind of nod.
I can't hear you.
I just kind of nod, uh, and I take up my ceremonial seat at the table.
Oh, hello, Ethan, says your father. You're home a bit late. I heard that you've been into some to-do recently.
Which one? The part where my entire class was killed, or the part where I got arrested?
Oh, pish tosh, says your mom. Same thing. Did you get into any trouble? I think our lawyer was able to get you off fairly easily.
Yeah, yeah. It there doesn't. Yeah, you pay for the best, you get the best.
Do you know how much an hour of Mr. Marley's time costs, Ethan? Says your father.
I don't think I could possibly ever comprehend how much.
He rolls his eyes. He's not that expensive. 500 an hour isn't that bad. But still, that's wasteful. Your mother and I work very hard to put food on the plates. His legal fees could have fed you for a weekend.
Or 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 paid for Nathan's rent for a month.
Who? Asked your mother.
Never mind. we'll talk about that in a little bit. There's been something weighing on me since all this happened that I wanted to talk to you guys about in private.
Well, sit, son, says your father. Algernon, go get us something else to eat, and since the boy wants to talk in private, put on earmuffs. Yes, sir, says your butler. Of course, sir. I will be happy to oblige.
If
He rattles off with his cane and his tray to the kitchen.
I don't know how to broach this with you guys, but I've been dreaming lately.
Most people do at least once a night, son, says
Mammon.
your mother, laughing. Could you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
I've been dreaming about someone, something named Mammon.
All right. Roll me wits plus empathy, please.
Two successes.
Your mother and father share a look as a series of very complicated expressions wash over their face. Your parents don't spend a whole lot of time with you. Sometimes you've thought that they didn't even care at all. But the look that they share is the most is a look of the most pride you've ever seen in either of their eyes, combined with a strange hunger. Your father and Roger can barely conceal his smile as he pushes his plate of half half-eaten goodies to the side. His
I
eyebrow raised and completely unable to hide the smile on his face. He says, Mammon?
I don't know much, but what I do is it's not something that is talked about. You're connected to it somehow, and me and the other two survivors are meant to be involved.
All right. Give me a manipulation plus subterfuge roll, please.
Hey, oh no. Okay. Um, is there anything that I can do to supplement that
There's willpower.
aside from that?
Would any of your haunts help?
Uh,
Or can you borrow your Geist's uh, finesse or something?
You could borrow one of Meathead's stats, yes.
okay.
This is, was it presence or was it manipulation?
Manipulation.
What's his finesse look like?
2.
That sucks. Uh,
I would allow presence.
oh, Okay, so here's what you do. You call on his power as through your thing and take on some beatific radiance and ask. And then throw their power plus whatever else you can at it.
Let's see. Give me a second and we'll look at the actual rules for what you need to do to borrow his stats. Because you guys haven't actually been doing that.
No, it's his haunt.
The
Which haunt?
The
call?
call.
Ah, yeah, that's true. The call. That does allow you to borrow his stats by
Mhm.
extruding the call. Let's see.
So, okay. So rather than uh so basically what I want to do is rather than channel his full meathead like I had been doing, this time I am just going to channel his muscles to manifest uh on me as
Uh,
though I had his muscles. Show,
The
showing
perfection of his body.
yeah, the perfection of his body basically. And
All
yeah,
right, if you extrude the call, same as the as with the Oracle, you roll synergy plus call, and you pay between 1 and 5 plasm based on how many charges you want.
okay. So I'm going to activate the grave dirt. Um, actually no, what's my synergy is only up to 2. Yeah. So I'm gonna activate the grave dirt,
All right,
which is that's strength, right?
Yep.
How is my strength? Okay, no, I'm not. I'm gonna do the pyre. So that's gonna be another 5. Okay, so I actually have a decent chance of succeeding at this. All right, 2 successes.
all right, that is successful.
All right.
Since you're doing this directly in front of your parents, please describe how you take on the call.
So so I so Ethan has been kind of sitting there with his hands in his lap, not really making eye contact. Um, and then with the then he looks up at his parents, this time with conviction in his eyes. He stands up and the the str- uh, meathead's perfection shines through him. The all those years of shaping and toning and stuff like that begin uh, manifest on him, and Ethan Ethan looks at his parents and just says, "There's a call that I feel. My
All
path,
right.
yeah,
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go on.
my path involves whatever this is."
All right. And how many charges did you pay for?
5.
All right. So you've got 5 full charges. And what you wanted to do for at least the first one was substitute Meathead's attributes for your own,
Hmm.
correct?
Yes.
You can substitute his power for strength, intelligence, or presence.
So I was thinking presence.
All right, pay 1 charge and roll presence plus subterfuge. The presence, of course, being equal to Meathead's power rating.
What's great about
Yes.
this is we also know that they've never looked at Ethan for more than 4 seconds, so they probably
5,
won't notice
6,
the
7,
difference.
8. Okay. All right, so that's a dice pool of 7. 5 successes.
All right, and they get their defense rolls here.
Nice roll, Tibbs.
All right, you outrolled them both, with Roger completely failing. Uh, you can see your mother tearing up a little bit. Uh, she puts her head in her hands and sobs happily. Oh, Roger. Your father stands up and gives you a hug. With the coal being extruded into your body is semi-liquid and viscous, but he doesn't seem to notice that his hands press a little too deeply into your back as he pats you. My boy, he said, I knew that blood would out. He steps back with his hands on your shoulders. Your mother looks up, her face red from the crying as she smiles. I think it's time, Roger, she says. He nods. Ah, yes, I believe it is time. He leans in and says, Son, you know that your mother and I go to the Episcopal Church, correct?
Yeah.
And you know that the church we go to is a bit unique. We don't allow children or outsiders in, not unless they've been vetted by uh, the pastor.
Yeah.
I think it's finally time for you to go to church with us.
All right.
He wipes a tear away from his eye. But so you don't sound like a complete idiot in front of everybody, it's time to talk to you about the family. He takes takes one of your hands, and your mother takes the other. Come on, son. We're going upstairs. The scene shifts. Nathan and Ty have arrived at the Red Room. The Red Room opened on the 31st, uh, which means that it's been open for a little under a week. Those passes that the owner were handing out doesn't have any sort of expiration date on them, so you should be able to get in just fine.
All right.
I hand my pass to the bouncer.
What was that?
I hand my pass to the bouncer.
The two of you round the corner with the intention of handing the pass to the bouncer. The bouncer, however, is currently occupied. You notice immediately uh, the ghost standing behind the little girl in a Girl Scout uniform talking to the bouncer. You recognize Susie Coleman as she beams up at the bouncer. So I've got Samoas with me right here, and I can cut you a great deal, Mr. The bouncer, a dark-skinned man, that is, if anything, even taller than Ty, rippling with muscles under a black t-shirt and with matching black jeans, sighs. Beat it, kid. I'm working. Susie smiles up at him, completely undaunted. Oh, this'll be real quick. Hey, maybe your boss wants to buy some too? How many boxes can I put you down for?
So Nathan, if you ever wanted to do underage drinking, this is your shot. There's no way I'm getting past him quietly, but you absolutely could.
What would be the point of that?
If you wanted to try underage drinking. I don't know, Nathan. Maybe this is his rebellious phase. If not, we do
Hi.
kind of need to get his attention.
Hi, that would be entirely unethical.
Figured.
So, I need one of you to make me a chance die roll, please.
Do you want to do it or shall I?
I started last time. It's your turn.
All right.
I'll do it.
You're not present currently.
Don't worry.
That means I'm neutral.
Quiet, disciple.
Fair enough.
Join your cult, Shirley.
Yeah, I'm gonna die again.
I
No,
rolled
no,
Susie.
you're not gonna die again.
Susie waves the box of Samoas under the bouncer's nose. Then her eyes cross and she falls onto the ground in a heap. The ghost of her grandmother, looking much better for access to the dumb suppers you've been providing, waves at you forlornly as she points at her granddaughter. And you can feel the ghostly essence surging from her grandmother's ghost into Susie, who takes a deep breath and begins standing back up. The bouncer, meanwhile, has begun to panic. Right before he dashes into the club, Susie stands up and says, "Sorry about that. That's fine. So, how many boxes can I put you down for?"
Wow. The guilt trip of the century, everyone.
The
Relentless,
bouncer
this one.
takes the Susie's clipboard, writes down, signs his name, and says, "I'll take all you got, kid. Just go to the doctor." She smiles and says, "I'm on the heart transplant list."
So, you know when you're gonna get up? Good to see you, Susie.
Susie waves as she sees the two of you. "Hi, thanks for donating to my fundraiser.
So, you any
I'm
closer?
fifth in line in the state."
Good luck, hon. I, I,
Thanks.
I phrase that question, though theoretically directly at her grandmother floating over her head.
Her grandmother's ghost looks somewhat more gaunt from having used her essence to revive Susie. But Susie, happy with what she's gotten from the bouncer, uh, tells him that she'll be back with his cookies in the next 3 days, and happily skips off.
I do not know how her parents let her go around like that high. We've got passes.
The bouncer has one hand on his heart and the other caressing his bald head in disbelief as if he was wiping away sweat. He looks at the two of you in your passes and just goes, "Okay, whatever." The boss says that you can go in if you get your hand stamped. He pulls out a small stamp with that looks like the letter X and stamps the back of both your hands. No drinking. You look underage. I can tell. Have a good time otherwise.
I am underage. Thank you for being diligent.
And everybody in this town knows who I am. Let's get going.
We
All
head
right.
in.
Let's. Why don't we scope the place out before we immediately head to try and bother Dan? See what this place actually looks like when it's running?
Nathan would like to get a mocktail.
You strike me as a Shirley Templar.
Well, I'm hoping there's something blood themed.
The inside of the Red Room looks very different than what you saw on the Ghost Tour. The general bones of the place are still there, but the carpet, the wallpaper, everything has been replaced. You stand uh, on tile leading to the bar in the back. The tile is red and white with black grout. A couple steps downward, and you see the dance floor, a well appointed little stage on the other side of the dance floor, upon which a DJ spins some records. There's a good 30, 40 people here, which is quite a crowd for Whispering Peaks. Uh, there's another half a dozen or so at the bar, uh, which is done up in gaudy red marble with lights under the cabinet. Um, the both of you also notice a handful of ghosts wandering around, particularly aimlessly. Uh, the one ghost does catch your eye, though. It's the same ghost holding the guitar with the hole in his forehead that you saw before. He stands on the stage, apparently not having moved an inch since the last time you saw him. The bar happily serves Nathan his mocktail after double checking his hand stamp and asking for his ID.
Hey, you see the man on stage?
Quick question, Kenny.
Yeah,
Was the mocktail blood themed?
they have some that are, if you want one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nathan hears this question and turns to look at Ty, and he has been practicing attempting to dribble just a single drop of this bloody mocktail down his chin. Um, and he goes, "Yep, I see him."
We're doing a bit, I see. Hey, man. Yeah, you're having a Virgin Mary. That's actually a great joke. I love that. That's probably what it's actually called. All right. Uh, so fuck that threw me. I was gonna say, you're better at getting people's attention than I am. Uh, that dude doesn't look like he's moved since we stopped by like a month ago. Kind of curious what his deal is, because even like the most bored ghosts have been doing something. Even if it's just like that one that was rolling his eyes at us whenever we walked through Ethan's dining room.
How busy is it in here, Kenny?
I did say there was about 40 people on the dance floor and a DJ spinning records on the stage.
Okay, that's right. Sorry. So Nathan goes to lean up against the stage and kind of looks back towards the DJ slash where the ghost is standing and just goes, "So, you stuck there?"
All right, so first off, to get across a crowded dance floor, I'm actually going to have you make me a roll.
Could I assist on this one?
Strength or dexterity plus athletics.
I would like to assist on this one by making a wedge. I think if there was ever anything I was more qualified for. And in fact, I'd like to call something through here. Moving through people who do not want me to go past them with my enormous physical body is something that I have practiced an awful lot in hockey. Would you accept me applying my hockey bonus to this roll?
That makes sense to me. So remember, for assistance, you guys need to roll the same dice pool. So which one would you want to roll, Nathan, since you're the primary roller?
Dex athletics.
That's fine. Most of my bonus is coming from the ath. So that's 1 plus 7. Pathetic. Okay. I tried.
All right, you get 1 bonus die.
It is crowded in here, I guess.
3 successes.
Together, the two of you are able to make your way across the crowded dance floor to the stage. So you said you wanted to talk to the DJ?
No.
No, I want to talk to the ghost.
Okay, you want to talk to the ghost. That's fine. Now, from up this close, you can see that the DJ's table is a couple of feet away from where the ghost is standing. The ghost has a mohawk and has an electric guitar in his hands with a strap around his neck. He's wearing a denim vest covered in various patches and some torn blue jeans over a black sleeveless t-shirt. He doesn't seem to even notice your presence. Luckily for you, the DJ has his headphones on and doesn't notice your presence at all either. So what would you like to do or say?
Hey Jeff, do we remember when this guy was dead from?
We did get told that. Can I try to remember? Because we did ask about a dude getting shot in the head here, and we got told an answer to that question.
Yeah, I'll let you roll intelligence plus occult.
Do you have any dice on that?
I am at a chance die.
Actually, Kenny, I'd like to make an argument. This is remembering things that we got told. Would you take an intelligence plus academics?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to assist here
Perfect.
because I do actually have dice for this. Not many, but a few. I do not help. Ty is, as usual, incredibly helpful.
Hold
3
on a second.
successes.
You failed in your assistance roll?
Yeah.
Give me just a moment to look that up. I know that comes with a penalty.
I believe that's only if I do a dramatic failure.
Let me double check real quick.
And yes, a Virgin Mary is actually what a Virgin Bloody Mary is called.
It's a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
Bear with me.
If one of the secondary actors rolls a dramatic failure, the primary actor takes a 4-die penalty.
What page is that on?
Oh, wait, no, that's a specific one. Sorry. That was for sneak.
Uh, um,
Teamwork is probably the word.
Aha, I found it. Teamwork.
Da, da, da.
Yep. If one of the secondary actors rolls a dramatic failure, then the primary actor takes a 4 dice penalty. You failed, but you did not get a dramatic failure, and unless you would like to take a beat and do that.
Not because that will set them to a die pool of 0. So, no. Funny as that would be. And also, I like these dice. These seem like nice dice. We should leave them alone.
All right. So, in that case, uh, you remember that during the tour, um, it was mentioned that in addition to the more famous murders that happened here, uh, some singer from a punk band that was touring through called Rock's Fall uh, was shot.
I have a
Back
cell phone.
back when this was called the Strangled Cat.
I have a cell phone, I assume. I'm going to go look up whatever the top hit by Rock's Fall was.
Alrighty. I would say an internet search would be intelligence or wits plus computers.
Fuck. Why do I have to be so dumb?
I can roll if you need.
Do you have better than a chance die?
Yeah, I got 5.
Sorry. Tibbs, I think I need to pick up a single point in computer. This is getting sad.
1 success.
Yeah.
I'm looking specifically for their top hit and the year it came out.
There was a bit of information that you were able to find. Rock's Fall was never a particularly large punk band. It appears that they were out of Denver and they were doing a local tour, from what you can see on the Wikipedia page. They did put out 3 albums, all of which are on Spotify. But the number 1 song, the only one they ever had that charted, was the self-titled track, first track of the 3rd album, which was called Curtain Call.
May I recommend saying the words to this man? Hey man, play Curtain Call.
Okie doke. So Nathan yells up at the DJ, waving his hands to get his attention, and goes, "Hey, play Curtain Call."
Roll me presence plus persuasion.
Even if the DJ ignores you, this should get the attention of the ghost. And the DJ probably will ignore you.
2 successes.
The DJ takes off an ear cup and goes, "What?
Play Curtain Call.
Curtain what?"
Curtain Call by Rock's Fall.
The DJ puts his headphones back on and goes, "You've got some gnarly taste, little dude. Sure." He starts messing around with his records on his deck, and out comes a punk song with a slower tempo than you've ever heard. Kind of reminds you of sludge metal.
So, is our ghost friend responding to all this?
At the uttering of the word curtain call, you do see him twitch. He almost turns his head a couple of inches before it snaps back to the same stance he was at before. The DJ puts on the song as I mentioned earlier, and it starts to play. At a certain point, where the chorus starts, and you can hear the singer going, "All in all, it's time to take my curtain call." You can see the ghost's fingers move as if he wants to strum his guitar. Go like this, and then he freezes over the guitar strings, and his hand slowly inches away. He slowly, laboriously turns his head to look at you before it immediately snaps back to where it was before, looking at the same area.
I don't think we're gonna get anything out of him.
There is something wrong with this guy, and he needs help.
We gotta come back
I
during
couldn't hear what both of you guys were just saying. Sorry.
we gotta come back during daylight hours. There's no way we are getting anything more out of this guy. So we rock along to the song, and then we're gonna go try and find Dan. Because I don't know what else to do to try and stir this guy short of jumping the fucking stage. And I have already seen the cops, and I don't feel like fighting the only man in town who's bigger than me.
If the two of you would like to investigate, you can certainly make an investigation roll at a -3 penalty since you're doing it in the middle of a nightclub.
Sure, would that be wits plus investigation?
A wits or intelligence plus investigation. Uh, this is what I'm talking about for the ghost. If you've decided you are done with the ghost and wish to go find Dan Draven, uh, we can roll for that instead.
What did you say the penalty was again?
3. Let me see if I can't
3.
help you. I'm eating a willpower to get actual dice on this, and still not helping. I'm so useless.
1 success.
All right. So is this investigation pertaining to the ghost, or did you decide to go find Mr. Draven?
I thought this was all about the ghost, but
Yeah, I thought it was about the ghost. But we can go
Okay.
find Draven if you want.
Now, which one do you want to do? You are the players. I do not tell you what to do. That is the whole point of a storytelling game.
Sorry, I was asking Jeff.
I think that we're running out of time, and we should probably go find Dan.
Yes, good call. We're gonna go find Dan.
That was what
So
we
that
were.
was a roll for finding my way to his office.
All right. Uh, with the music playing as loud as it is, it's difficult to get much done. Uh, but you do find a small plaque near the stairway uh, that states uh, uh, manager's office, second floor. It also has a one of those red satin ropes across it with a small plastic no entry sign nearby.
Ty had already talked about seeing him about a job, and is the kind of person who will absolutely just walk past these things and bold as brass assume that it's okay. So, since I know that Nathan's not going to break the rules, I do.
All right, so Ty is heading upstairs. Are you following Nathan or are you staying down here?
Nathan will flit anxiously after Ty, attempting to vocally bring his attention to the sign that he must not have seen.
Just gonna see a man about a job. That's what we're here for, isn't it?
On the second floor, You find a hallway with several doors. One of the carpet here is the same plush red that you saw downstairs, and the left wall is actually one giant window overlooking the dance floor. Something you're seeing on it strikes you as weird, but you're not quite sure. Make a intelligence or wits plus investigation roll.
I'm just gonna swing on my own. Who knows? Maybe I'll hit something. Oh my god!
Damn.
Ty is smart today! Finally! We've been saving up for this moment.
Nathan got nothing. He is way too worried about reminding Ty that the sign was in English and it said no entry.
So what did I see?
Ty notices by the bar, the bouncer is talking to an inebriated young woman, looks to be in her mid-20s. He's got his hands behind his back. Excuse me. He's got his hands behind his back, uh, and standing a few feet away. You can see whatever he's saying to the young lady has her very excited, and he ushers her over to the upstairs entrance that you guys just went through.
And we're walking, and we're walking.
You have about 20 seconds before they show up in this hallway. What would you like to do?
Question: is there anything that looks like a janitor's cupboard, a side room, anything that looks like it's not going to have somebody walking through it in the next 40 seconds?
On the far end of the hallway, there are four doors total. At the far end, you see a door that says manager's office on a little gold plaque. At the nearest end of the hallway, there is a door that has with a plastic sign on it that says chill out room. The other two doors are unlabeled.
Do you feel lucky, Nathan?
Yeah.
I'm going to try an unlabeled room. I feel like chill out room is just going to fuck us. Because it feels like the second most likely place for Dan to be. But I feel like the unlabeled rooms, we've got a shot. And all we need to do is dart inside and wait until the footsteps go away. What do you think?
I'm down.
All right, I grab one of the two unlabeled doors, twist the handle, and pray it opens.
All right, since you're the one doing it, make me a chance die roll, please.
Fuck yes. You know, I miss evens and odds.
Alrighty.
6. Better than half.
I would like the both of you to take a beat.
Fuck yeah.
Oh no.
The two of you charge your way into the room. The room is dark and cold. No lights are on whatsoever. You do, however, feel a light switch on the wall nearby. Would you like to turn it on, or would you like to just head on in and see what you can see?
I feel like light in a room that's not supposed to be lit in the hallway would trigger off somebody that we were somewhere we're not supposed to be. So I'd like to make a perception check to see if anyone notices us entering, or any response upon us entering the room.
All right, go ahead and make that perception roll.
I believe that's wits plus composure.
Can I
Yep.
also roll?
Yep, both of you.
3 successes.
2 successes.
Standing as you are, right between the door and the hallway, the both of you stop and listen. You hear footsteps approaching from outside. They stop directly in front of this door. You hear footsteps inside the room you're in, shuffling over to a wall, and then the creaking of springs. You have about 3 seconds. Would you like to make a roll?
Like bed springs?
Potentially? You're not entirely sure, since you're going off ear here.
Nathan,
Yeah.
disappear.
Okay.
You've got the
Uh,
out of character. You've got the shroud. You can ghost out of this. This is my fault.
okay. But out of character.
This is really funny.
Nathan doesn't remember that he has ghost powers. So Nathan turns around, faces the wall, and puts his hands over his eyes.
That's way funnier. I being unable to be stealthy and apparently pinned between two different places. I pick up. I turn to the lights and say, "Well, I picked the wrong door. Hi, everybody." They're gonna find me in 4 seconds, dude.
So you're just going to turn on the lights?
Yeah, fuck it. I'm already in trouble. I don't have any reason to believe this is a more substantial amount of trouble than I intended. So, fuck it. Own it.
So you turn on the lights. Ah, you find yourself in a very cool in temperature and also extremely gaudy, uh, but small lounge. There is a tiny mini bar. There is a small TV mounted to the wall and a red leather love seat. Sitting on this love seat is a very surprised looking man. You recognize his dark hair and flawless skin from when you met him at the film festival. Dan Draven looks at the two of you. Before he says anything, the door creaks open and the bouncer ushers in the young woman.
Listen, I was just here to drop off a resume. I seem to have dropped in at the wrong time. I'm gonna bother you later. Sorry. I'm gonna bold as brass just try and walk out as if nothing is wrong. Would you accept a presence socialize?
I'm gonna say let's make this a
Actually,
composure socialize.
composure socialize. Just fucking. Yeah, I think I could do that.
This is a you are defending yourself here, so yes.
Do you want assistance?
I, I don't think you're capable of responding to human contact right now, but if you feel like Nathan can pull himself together, by all means. But I am about to usher you out either way.
Nathan will assist by turning around and going, "This was a giant misunderstanding."
Alright, roll with it.
All right. Make the roll.
1 success.
3 successes! I just keep moving, everybody!
Congratulations, you've unlocked keeping your shit together.
Uh, the bouncer, the young lady, and Dan Draven are all speechless as the two of you simply leave the room.
So, I'm going to say I was actually prepared for, like, proving that I was intending to come up here for a job, and I'm just gonna walk over to the manager's door, set down a resume, and walk out. I'm gonna go. Somebody is eventually going to stop me, but I'm gonna keep moving until that happens.
All right.
Because if nothing else, I'm gonna get an awkward fucking phone call in the morning.
So, as you come out of the manager's office, having left the resume, the bouncer claps his large hand onto your shoulder. He's one of the very few people you've ever had to look up at. He doesn't look angry or threatening or anything in any way. Uh, what he does say, what he does do is look you straight in the eye and say, the two of you saw that there was a no entry sign, correct?
I
My
think that he missed it because he is very tall and he was looking at his resume. I tried to make him aware of it,
I
but he's very tall and
apologize.
didn't hear me.
I talked to your boss at the film festival. I told him I would be dropping off a resume. There didn't seem like a good place to do that up at the bar. I figured I'd just leave it up here and go. I heard some noise in that room, so I thought he might be in there. I was right, but I am badly timed. I'm so sorry.
Presence plus subterfuge, please.
Am
It's
I
3
rolling as
dice.
well?
It's 3 dice, so it's the same as if I re-rolled it. I'm just... Two successes. Apparently, this is where I've been saving up all my dice for the evening. And I want to put a note here. Ty has one thing that he has practiced more than anything else. And this skill is coming into bear right now. And that's looking really fucking dumb. Ty is looking as absolutely blank-headed jock as he can. Big dumb himbo energy radiating out of him.
So, the bouncer looks straight into your eyes. You feel like he's probing you for any hint of deception.
Fuck.
And
Yes!
finds none.
I'm so dumb, guys. I'm so dumb.
He sighs. Okay, kid. I'll give you that. The boss that was saying that he's been looking for help. I do remember him mentioning that he talked to a big guy at the film festival. I'm guessing that's you. And just don't be talking about what you've seen.
Ain't none of my business. I assumed that you needed to talk to them about something. The boss has other business than me.
The door to the small lounge you were just in opens, and Dan Draven steps out. He corrects the fit of his silk shirt and says, Matthias, could you bring the young lady over to the chill out room? A cookie and some orange juice would also be useful. Yes, sir, he says. I was talking to the kid, sir. He was here to give you a resume, and the short one was here for moral support, I guess.
Sorry, he didn't feel comfortable being left on the floor alone. He has not been to a club before.
Uh, Dan Draven gives you a dazzling smile. Of course, sorry that you had to see that,
I didn't see
but
anything, sir.
he gives you a wink and says, "Of course you didn't. Maybe you'll fit here better than I thought." The two of you, um, let's talk in my office. Cookies and orange juice?
That sounds like
Oh,
an excellent time.
All right, and the scene shifts.
Sorry we're eating up so much of your evening.
Ethan,
Yeah.
uh, your parents have walked you upstairs into your father's study.
Hmm.
The same place that you had been looking before for signs of the chosen of Mammon. As your parents sit you down, uh, you notice that your father's eyes are drawn uh, to a certain statuette that you happened to break that here last time. A wolf-headed man sitting legs crossed, with hands clasped in front of his face and spread wings, wearing a crown. Did you ever try to fix the wing, or did you just leave it broken off?
I left it.
He looks down at it. Did you come into my study while we were gone, son?
I Yeah.
You felt drawn, perhaps?
He nods. Honesty is always best with those in your inner circle, son. The people who are worth being honest to. I'm glad you recognize this. He puts the statue and its broken wing on the corner of his desk. Mm, it's fixable. Don't worry about it. These are cheap. But why did you come in here, if I can ask?
I felt I needed to.
Your mother nods. And of course you were drawn to the statue. Of course. Your father nods and says, "It's an artist's conception of Mammon." Did you know that in the medieval times, a wolf was considered symbolic of greed?
I guess that's the similar thought as the phrase, the phrase wolfing something down to eat something greedily.
Or the wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, makes sense.
He nods and says, "No one actually knows what Lord Mammon looks like, but we like keeping some things around. Have you seen this around the house?" He says, uh, pulling out a pencil and paper and making swiftly drawing a symbol of a circle around a large dot.
Yeah, I have actually. I was kind of I know that the circumpunct does have a bit of symbolism, but there's so much variation and I didn't know, and Also, it could be that I was just subscribing patterns to things that weren't there. So,
Well, you see, he says, you're correct that the circumpunct has multiple meanings. But in here, we use it as the alchemical symbol for gold. It's a sacred symbol to Lord Mammon. You see, the Episcopal church that your mother and I attend is a bit of a front. Uh, we actually belong to a newer religion, founded by one of our town's mayors. Well, this branch. Uh, I've been told by other members of the church in other towns and cities that this religion is actually very, very old, but it only hit Colorado in the 20s, 30s. Uh, your mother and I, we owe everything to the teachings of Lord Mammon. And we've been waiting for the day that we could take you to church with us. You love this house, don't you, son?
of course.
You love all the nice things that we buy you, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
You love having someone like Algernon around to do the things that are beneath you, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I used to wrangle carts at the S-Mart. I don't know if I've ever told you, but your grandfather, on my side at least, was not a very well-to-do man. But that's not the case anymore. The Barlow family has come up in the world. And now, he says, sitting back, I'm the CEO for Farmer Kimball's. And your mom, Elizabeth, gives you a beaming smile. I did have a little bit of money, she said. My parents owned a store in the town square plaza, but they were stingy and they wanted me to learn the value of work. Now, she says, I own all the stores in the town square plaza. Do you know how much we make in rent?
Guessing quite a bit.
More than my parents could ever believe, she laughs. If they were still around.
I I don't know. I always assumed that we were old money. Like, I don't know, we came from British aristocracy or a German fiefdom or something. I don't know. I just assumed old money.
No, son, my father was the town drunk, and he was in jail for 10 years for flashing.
That that explains why you never really talked about family history, and I think it was something to the effect of what does it say? It doesn't matter where you come from, just what what you make of yourself.
Exactly, he says. Lord Mammon chooses his servants, and he chooses them because of their priorities, because they understand what matters the most in life. Well, my mother and I thought that you might have a bit of a soft upbringing, having come from money. I've seen you do your little streaming, and I thought perhaps that showed a lust for fame, but it seemed more like you were interested in the skill of your run fasts.
With the speedruns, what could show more ambition than a world record? And that's what I'm shooting for. Yes, it's a game, but I'm not competing in some niche game that has 7 people trying for the world record. I'm competing against hundreds, and I'm innovating, coming up with new techniques to make it faster. Even if I don't make it, they're still using my techniques. My handle is known in the community, and not just in the Celeste speedrun community, in the speedrun community globally.
Your mother pipes up. Things have changed since we were kids, Roger. Ah, you know how it is, honey. I've looked into this, and there are some people who make quite a lot of money playing video games. So I'm not surprised that our son chose this.
And eventually, when I got older, I wanted to transition into uh, not the game development side, but uh, funding, the uh, pro game production. I wouldn't make the games, but every game that was made under my banner, I get a bit of. Look how much money is in the video game industry these days.
Your mother nods excitedly, and your father smiles. He goes, well, I suppose I simply didn't understand. Uh, Youth always changes things. Uh, I remember that my father thought my interests were fairly silly, to be perfectly honest. And here I am doing it again to you. But it seems like you have your priorities in order. And that's what's important. Lord Mammon has reached out to you, so he must see into your heart and know that you're a good person who values money above anything else.
Yeah, and if I and if I wasn't a good person, why would I be blessed like this?
He nods. Exactly. Wealth finds its way to those who deserve it, and those who do not have it do not deserve it. You are one of the deserving, the chosen, and we will take you soon to meet the chosen of Mammon. So let's go over some basics so you don't embarrass us. I might be a deacon, but it's been quite a while since I've stood in front of the church, especially for something like this. Uh, your mom beams and says, oh, this is going to be so great. It's going to stick in Graham's craw. Uh, your dad smiles and says, oh, won't it? His son never got the call. Can you believe that he's managing a big box store? The Kimballs are a failed line, my boy. A failed line. I am going to take this town by storm, and you're going to own it all by the time I'm done. This whole town is ours for the taking.
I My goal is to supersede Cotton Industries.
Your mother claps her hands. Oh, Graham is going to piss himself. And we go back to the others. So Nathan and Ty sit down in Dan's office. Dan Draven's office is it's something, all right. The entire place is done up in red shag carpeting, uh, wavy dark crimson and bright red wallpaper with pictures all over the walls. Uh, you're sure you recognize Dan in some of them, but some of the ones that you think you can see him in are obviously way, way older. You see someone looking at like him in front of the red room, newly opened red room in the picture. You see someone looking like him in front of the bar sign calling it the strangled cat. You see someone like him in front of looking like him in front of signs going back farther and farther to at least the 40s, back when this was, by the looks of it, a soda joint.
So, out of character a moment, Nathan.
I can't hear you.
Out of character a moment, Nathan.
Yeah.
Uh, are we going subtle or are we just laying cards on the table? Because I feel like we've got enough circumstantial evidence to meet the theory that this guy is definitely a fucking vampire.
I'm gonna wait until Nathan has his cookies first.
Have your cookies. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Dan follows you in and sits at the desk. He shuffles the paper around, grabs your resume, and gives it a good look over. After a minute or two, the bouncer, Matthias, comes in with a plate of cookies and 2 cups of orange juice.
Thank you,
I'm
Matthias.
I'm so sorry for interrupting you, sir. I did not think this was going to be an ordeal. I just thought I was dropping off some paperwork and saying hi.
We all have some bad luck from time to time, he says, looking at your resume. So I see you're in sports?
Yes, but I've got less time to be there because the entire team perished recently.
Oh, yes, I heard about that. Very sad. Very sad.
And I thought it would be good to keep myself busy during the excess hours. I figure I can haul some crates for you or something. There has to be something heavy you need moved around here.
We do need someone to clean up around here. Right now, the bartender's doing it, but she's not very happy about it.
I could do that, and I could bar back for you. I can haul big crates of bottles, stuff like that.
Well, to be entirely fair, usually that's the same person, yes.
Sorry. But yeah, I'd love to help with that. Um, so, I did
And
have.
your friend,
Sorry.
oh, I was just asking, is your friend there with the cookies? Is he looking for work?
Um,
No, I'm just here to say if you're a vampire.
All right. Everybody freezes.
so, can I just, before you get very upset, I'm just going to tell you the reason we're asking is I reach behind myself, grab the bag off my shoulder, the invisible one, and set it on the table and use the manifest Newman. When I did say the whole team died,
Dan looks up at the ceiling and goes, "Ah, fuck." And this is where we'll end off for this week.
Yes! That is a perfect line to end off on.
All right, so let's go over everyone's aspirations. Who wants to go first?
I got to deliver the line, everyone. I was waiting for it all evening.
All right, I'll go. Uh, we found the circumpunct thingy, so I think we found more clues about the killer.
We also had that giant conversation with Lucerne at the beginning.
Yep. So yeah, I think we definitely found clues about the killer.
True.
Um, Josie helped me through my oracling, so I think that would count as a getting to know Josie.
Yep, I'll give that one to you.
I did take a step in day actions towards finding my grandpa's ghost.
Yes, you did.
I meant to look in a disco ball. Were there any disco balls downstairs?
Uh,
Sure.
Can I
I'll
have
just give you
caught my
that one.
reflection? Okay. Uh,
There was glass everywhere, so yeah.
my last one is make a new friend. I was kind of counting on that being Draven, but I don't know if that was a friendship step there, but I think it was. I think I can take a step towards that.
Well, I mean, that's the first time that you've had a conversation with them, so I'd say that's the first step in making a new friend is talking to them.
the other
And
things you
Lucerne did agree to join your crew.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay, so that's me.
All right, yeah, that one sounds like you got it too. All right, who's next?
All right, so uh, we got first aspiration: get out of Whispering Peaks. Um, having my parents under
backing you.
yeah, having my parents backing um, definitely is going to help with that. Um, world record speed run. Having my parents understand what that actually means that they're going to be less on my back about it and more I'll be able to drill down on that a bit better. Definitely learned a bit more about how the town works and whatnot. So take a step toward. So I like to take a step towards learning the rules of the game. I I pulled a pretty big one over on my parents, so stick it to the man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting. I've secured a introduction to the uh, gatekeeper of the cult. So take a step towards carry on a family tradition.
Yep, sounds good.
And that's me.
Right, so,
Uh, so, uh, get scouted for college hockey. I made some efforts during my day actions to be doing some hockey stuff openly while I'm waiting for scouts to come calling, hopefully in response to my letters. Um, find the son of a bitch who took everything from me. We got a huge bunch of information and a new lead on how to chase him down in the form of looking for the boss, who we definitely don't know the name of. And I didn't just about say out loud for no reason.
I
Um,
mean, his name has been said on camera, so
has Screamer's name been said on camera?
yeah.
Oh, my apologies. Screamer. We're looking for
Literally
Screamer.
today.
Uh, get to the club. I got to the club. Um, have an encounter with someone who sucks. Well, I think that was an admission from Dan Drayford that he's a vampire. Also, the orange juice and the cookies, I mean, like, subtlety of a brick here. And gear up my allies. I set a bunch of random shit on fire, including, for some reason, a protective cup. Hey, Tibbs?
Yeah.
Tibbs. I
Yeah.
understand you've got some very cool things. I need you to get some armor on so a ghost can't tear you in half.
No, I'm good.
When, all right. Have fun with that. I tried, but I think gear up my allies is cleared as well.
Alrighty. 2 beats for everyone. And since your haunt conditions, those who resolved a haunt condition get a beat for that. Unless you want to end your haunt condition prematurely, Ethan, you can continue that for a bit. I suppose you probably do want to just end it prematurely, right?
Yeah.
So take the beat for that. That does resolve the condition per the condition's description.
Okay.
So that means we're good for tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody, even after the technical hiccups we had. We really appreciate everybody coming to see us, and we'll be back again in 2 weeks.
Alrighty.
Goodbye.